We actually have performance bonuses now, so I'll tell you the performance bonus winners. On the undercard, when you guys weren't here, Amir Nuruddin and Austin Turpin, they both won. Waylon Frost, Alan Klingbeil, the Hawaiian Hitman, all those guys won $10,000. So congrats to them. Hi.
Hi. I just want to know first, overall thoughts on the whole card.
Yeah, when we had our first card, the first card was literally perfect. It couldn't have gone any more perfect. Tonight was a foul fest, which is going to be, it's part of the evolution of this thing. But it's definitely tough when you have the champion who gets knocked out and it's a DQ because of a foot foul. So these are growing pains you got to deal with. Much like I always say in the UFC, we stack the card with tons of great fights. So, something we'll come away from and make some adjustments and changes and try to fix it next time.
And what kind of adjustments can you make? Because, you either have to change the rules or...
Oh, no, it's not changing the rules. This is what we do. When you look at... It's so hard to explain to people today about what it was like in the UFC in the early days because nobody was here. Everybody wants to act like, oh, the UFC, whatever. Nobody was here. This is my second Power Slap event. There's 3 times the media here than there was for the first 5 years of the UFC. Okay, so to try to explain the stuff that we had to go through back in those days, it was much more difficult. This is much less difficult. We'll figure this stuff out. I went through COVID. We'll figure this out.
What was the biggest win of the night for you? It didn't necessarily mean a match, but maybe production or what?
Yeah, not a match?
It could be whatever you think was your highlight of the event.
Well, I would say tonight, and it was something that I talked to you guys earlier. I'd say there were a bunch of wins. The stream again was massive. We're gonna pull millions of viewers tonight. The sweepstakes that we did, which is big. I saw, as usual, people talking shit. So we do sweepstakes with the UFC all the time. It's nothing new. This isn't anything different than what we do in the UFC. We did 115,000 entries tonight for the sweepstakes. The biggest one we've ever done with the UFC is 200,000, to give you an idea of how big tonight was as far as that goes. There were lots of great fights tonight. There's guys out there, like I'll tell you right now, obviously DeBell, that guy's legit. He's young, he's 21 years old, he's got an incredible chin, and he beat Wolverine tonight, who's never been knocked down in like 12 or 13 fights. And he dropped him tonight and hurt him a couple times. So there's guys on here that we think have a lot of potential. You guys didn't get to see, well actually I think we did put the Turpin fight up on social media so you could see that. Kid is completely unassuming, completely out of his mind, and but damn good.
Is that an element, do you think, that makes a really good slap fighter, being a little bit out of your mind?
Yeah, I think that's part of being a fighter, period. No matter what combat sport you're in, you have to be a little out of your mind, yeah.
Do you have an update on Abu Dhabi when that will start filming, when we could possibly see season 2?
Well, what we want is we're going to have boots on the ground in July, meaning the production team out there finding out where we're going to stay, where we're going to shoot, what we're going to do, so I'm looking for early July.
And my last question, who do you find to fight in super heavyweight? I can't imagine that's a...
Yeah, well, that's another go. Obviously tonight was a big night with the Hawaiian Hitman winning, a legit super heavyweight guy. Trust me when I tell you we will, and we'll find even more after season 2. Because when we start casting globally and finding people from around the world, we're going to find some bad dudes, some big dudes too.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, Dana.
Yeah.
Was it disappointing not having Chris Thomas on the card today?
Yeah, it was very disappointing. He's fun, he's explosive, he's exciting. Yeah, but again, it's part of the growing pains when you're trying to build something new.
With all the suspensions that came up, I guess no one really asked your thoughts on it, but is that going to be that going forward just testing for, I guess, drugs and everything?
Yeah, I think the commission pre-tested this time, didn't they? Yeah, they're all over us. So they pre-tested this time.
For every event, is the goal to have every single belt defended?
Yeah, absolutely.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Yep. Go ahead, brother.
Corey Sawyer, Slap News. Dana, so we have Wednesday night for Power Slap number 2. How did that come about, and do you intend it to be on Wednesday going forward?
Yeah, we like Wednesdays. When we first started the UFC, we had to go on Fridays because boxing was so big. Then we eventually took over Saturdays. But when you think about it, there's always, first of all, Friday night, people are going out. Saturday night is, boxing or UFC. And Sunday night is WWE, and Monday night is WWE. So Wednesday night works really well for us because, and could this have worked out any better? There's no other sports on tonight except for us, the way that the playoffs worked out. And I told you guys before, this is incredible on social media. It's great to bet on, and it works in bars. And when do bars need content more than a Wednesday night? It's fucking awesome for Wednesday.
Absolutely. I mean, you touched on the social numbers. Does the business model for Power Slap differ from that of the UFC?
Well, I think the different thing about this than UFC and any other sport is this thing is being built on the internet. And I have this whole strategy moving forward, not just for this, but Throw One and the UFC. I mean, everything's going internet.
I mean, the media continues, to try to stomp on Power Slap. Do you have
Right.
anything that you want to say to the media after another successful event here tonight?
I don't give a shit. You know what I mean? If you saw what was here tonight, I'm more into social media than media. So it doesn't matter. You don't have to, but this is nothing different. This isn't like this didn't happen with the UFC. I was just saying, there's 3 times the media here tonight for our second event, than there was the first 5 years of the UFC. I mean, I even remember going into the Ultimate Fighter, and there were actually MMA magazines and shit like that at the time that didn't cover the Ultimate Fighter, which ended up being the biggest thing, literally the launching pad for the UFC, and pulled massive numbers at that time. And the MMA media didn't even cover that back in the day. So this is not anything that I'm not used to.
Awesome. We got to see the super heavyweight. Any chance that we'll see a 155 or a women's category anytime soon?
Yeah, I mean, we'll see a women's division probably before a lighter division. But like I was just saying with Amy, we got a lot of shit we got to work out before we start thinking about, expansion. We got to get this thing dialed in and work on some of the problems that happened tonight. But the thing is, when you're building a new sport, how many were any of you here when we did the test run in March? No, I think like Kevin Iole and Morgan and those guys were there. But if you look at how far we've come from last March when we did the first test to, we tried to perfect things during the season of Road to the Title. Then the finale went off, better than anything we'd ever done. And then tonight we hit some things that hadn't popped up yet. And we'll work on that. We'll go back to the drawing board and fix that shit and try to make the next one. The one thing that you have to understand is we do lots of bells and whistles. I always say I'm the bells and whistles guy. When everything starts happening live, you have literally no control over what happens live. So what we do from here is we try to control the uncontrollable in the future. Things that we didn't think could happen, things that pop up that you don't expect, and you just try to get better every time you put on an event.
One last question. What was the biggest highlight of the night for you here today?
The biggest highlight? Obviously, there was a lot of hype around the Slap for Cash and Hawaiian Hitman fight, so that was fun. Seeing that the bell is as legit as he is, because you know how tough Wolverine is. You saw it again tonight. It's interesting to see, the question was, would Vern's chin hold up tonight? And what's interesting too is going into this, when we started, Darius the Destroyer was the best slapper in the world. So you're already starting to see the thing evolve. And now, like I told you guys, there's real money in this thing now. These kids can actually make some real money. There's already bonuses, and it's just going to get bigger every event we do. And then I'm so high on season 2. I just think coming out of season 2, that finale, and then the guys that win that finale and face the guys that are here now, it's all going to be big.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey Dana,
buddy.
Dominic with Power Slap News. We saw the first title defenses today. What is the Power Slap belt progression like? Are these guys getting rubies, sapphires, maybe diamonds for that diamond chin?
Yeah, let me tell you this. I was very disappointed in the belt tonight. Okay, the belt's one of the things that we need to fix. I put it on AJ and the fucking thing popped right off him, and then I couldn't even put it on DeBell. It didn't fit him. So yeah, we had belt issues tonight. Diamonds and rubies and shit are the least of our fucking worries with the belt right now. We got bigger fucking problems, like putting it on the guy and it actually stays. Let's start there, and then we'll start thinking about diamonds and rubies and shit.
Super heavyweights. You guys brought in the world's strongest men to catch. Are we going to possibly see some of these world's strongest men slapping in the future?
I don't know. I think you'll see people from all different types of places slapping. But yeah, we obviously listen. When Slap for Cash was almost 500 pounds, when he went down, they laid him down pretty softly. It was good to have those guys. Forrest missed a kid that weighed like 170 tonight. I wouldn't want to put that on poor Forrest.
Thank you, Dana.
Thanks, buddy.
Dana, over
What's
here.
up?
We had talked about celebrity and former athlete interest in Power Slap. Has there been any progress made in that direction?
So now that we got this one behind us, now we're putting out the reel for casting for globally now for season 2. So yeah, we'll start. Actually, how many? Where's Frank? How many do we already have without even casting that have? 2,500 applicants, and we haven't even put out a reel yet for contestants for season 2. We already have 2,500 people that are trying to get in.
Is celebrity something that you want to
Celebs?
focus? Yeah.
You know what I want. I want guys that actually want to do this for a living and want to be the best in the world. Do I think that celebs will pop up here and there? Yes, I do.
Any truth to the rumors that you've ended your friendship with Barstool Sports?
No, that's not true. Listen, what I said today on Pat McAfee was not about Barstool Sports. It was about Penn Gaming.
Okay.
It was about Penn Gaming. And basically what I'm saying is when you build a company like Barstool Sports the way that it was built with a guy like Dave Portnoy, once you get a bunch of suits involved and these guys, it just changes the dynamic of the whole thing. Ask Vice. Ask Vice how that went.
Shots fired.
Sorry, Robbie. You guys done with me? Have a great night. Thanks for coming. I appreciate you guys.